For more, let's bring in Ed Young. He's pastor of the Fellowship Church in Grapevine, Texas, and joins us now via Skype from Miami. Pastor, welcome this morning to the Fox News Channel. I think the question all of us are asking and have been asking the past few days is, just how do we make sense of this?
You really can't make sense of it. The Bible is very clear. It tells us that we live in a fallen world and bad things happen to good people and innocent people. And this whole question of pain is one of the most difficult things to grapple with. However, I think we need to move very rapidly from the why question to the what question, not just why me, not just why did this happen, but what should we do because of this?
You've recently, and just a few days ago, you were warning about the dangers of the internet, saying that the internet and people being online all the time impacts personal relationships. And here we have reports that the suspect, spent all his time alone in his apartment, online, in some role-playing, maybe adult-type websites and this sort of things. What are your concerns about the culture, what's happening to our culture, the internet, and the ethics of all this?
Well, I think social media is great, but also there's a definite dark side to it. And I think we need to be very, very careful, whether we're adults or children or students, when we go online. I think this tragedy, this horrendous event just shows us the fallenness of man. It shows us the difficulties that we're grappling with, the why me, the what now, why am I here? I believe God has answers for that, and God wants to help all of us and to forgive and to give us a purpose even in the midst of pain.
Do you fear, though, that the internet and this all depersonalizes people, that potentially a shooter could be in his own fantasy world and then act that out like we allegedly saw in this case, and that helps cause some of these things?
Definitely. I think a cyber wall can be built around anyone. And what's so interesting is the internet is all about communication, yet so many of us have forgotten how to communicate. So I think when you have someone who has some problems, some mental faculties that have gone awry and astray, and then you have something like the internet and your own fantasy, I think the result can be chaotic. And whenever you have a culture that no longer has any absolute truth, you have a culture that bases everything on relativism and particulars. And as Francis Schaeffer said years ago, the result of that culture is chaos. So I believe it's time for us to get back to the basics, get back to truth, and be committed to that. And then I think we'll be on God's agenda individually and also corporately as a nation.
Well, Pastor Ed Young of the Fellowship Church in Grapevine, Texas, we thank you. And certainly there are millions of prayers and thoughts this morning in churches across the country. Pastor, thank you.
Thank you.